You know, ADAS is starting to become a big thing when a brand like Metra dedicates all kinds of resources to developing a brand specifically to cater to the ADAS market. We got SEMA looming over us next week, and man, are there some new products coming to you from Ibeam. Product expert AARON NEWMAN joins us as we go through a couple of the brand new SKUs that you need to know about. This is CMA Connected, brought to you by SiriusXM, all about Ibeam, and it starts now. What's going on, guys, and welcome to another CMA Connected, brought to you by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu, and we're talking Ibeam in the ADAS category. They have a big booth going on at SEMA in Las Vegas right now, but what's more important is some brand new products hitting the shelves really soon, and we get to talk about them right here on today's show. More than that, we've got their product expert, AARON NEWMAN, joining us to give us all the details, and do we ever have a list for you? If you guys are into ADAS, you want to sharpen your pencils and pay attention because we got a lot to talk about. AARON, what can you tell us about some of the things that we'll be covering on today's session?
Dude, absolutely. We have a ton of product fitting in that ADAS section this year. We're only going to focus on a few of them, such as an adjustable camera mount. We got DVR, so for your dashboard, windshield mount, and live streaming. We got that and more, man. Let's dig in.
Oh, I love it when I see guys like AARON pump because we know there's a lot of new, fresh product that you guys can introduce to your customers. But before that, let's give an opportunity to our partner, SiriusXM, to remind you dealers out there why you love it. And when we come back, brand new goodies from Ibeam.
Hey guys, Ricky Lima here from SiriusXM. I had a chance to speak to some dealers and ask them what they love about selling SiriusXM. Here's what they had to say.
Coast-to-coast coverage.
I love SiriusXM for commercial-free music.
It's a great add-on sale and a profit opportunity.
We love selling SiriusXM because you can listen to the same channel coast to coast.
Profitability and ease of installation. It's a no-brainer.
We love selling SiriusXM for its ease of installation, great profitability, and reliability.
People love it.
All right, guys, welcome back to the show. As mentioned, we've got Ibeam on the menu, and we've got our product expert, AARON NEWMAN from Metra, joining us. Now, AARON, this is a long list I'm looking at, so we're going to break it down. We're going to get right into it because, hey, this is the time of year where there's new products, and that's what it's all about heading into the season. Let's start first with something I've seen come by the desk. It's a brand new camera system, but what makes it unique is that it comes with every mount you could ever imagine. What a smart concept. Can you tell us more?
All right, so what makes this great is we wanted to reduce the amount of SKUs that you have to keep on your shelf to service most of your customers. So with this multi-mount camera, we're covering your backup plate, license plate camera for your US BEC or North American vehicles. You got a flush mount. We've got a side mount here, so you could use this on the side of a Jeep or something if you're doing a 4-camera system. You got a hard mount, so it's typically, upside down, but mounts to the trunk lip. We also include a hole saw, so if you need to do a flush mount. And on top of that, it's got more than enough, over 20 feet of cable here, so you can run it just about in any vehicle without having to extend it. So it's got everything there, 5 different SKUs of camera. If you include some of the IR stuff, you're covering over 20 applications just with this one 5-camera kit now.
AARON, it almost makes me wonder why it didn't come out starting like this. I mean, why did dealers have to order a different kit with a different mount for different scenario? I think this is a brilliant step forward from inventory, like you had said. But talk to us a little bit about the performance specs. Is this a standard resolution, or is it adaptable to the new high resolution systems?
So it's actually selectable. You have some loops here, and that's going to give you your output and it's monitored, right? So flip the image left to right and output style. Natively, this is a 720 camera. It can do AHD if the monitor is capable. It will not use PAL, so it's NTSC or AHD. That's kind of the thing, but that's more than 90% of the market, right? And it's an evolutionary step because these were around for the last 20 years, and then we started getting different housings like the butterflies for commercial applications. So it was just one of those things that took the right set of engineers looking at it going, we can do this better. And how do we do it better? We start with a better camera, smaller CCD, smaller footprint, and it's allowed to orient in just about any way. So it's meant to save you space. It's meant to maximize your profit and give you solutions maybe that your store didn't carry before because you didn't want to carry 20 different SKUs.
Well, Aaron, last but not least, before we finish on this TE5 MSC, again, brand new product from Ibeam, let's talk about specs. Let's talk about low light performance. Let's talk about the resolution. Let's talk about the weather resistance and any other specs you want to share.
All right, some of your kind of nerdy specs coming at you, right? So voltage, you can run it as low as 6 volts all the way up to 16. The lux on it is 0.3, so minimum lux 0.3. 3-year warranty, has a 150-degree viewing angle, so that's the widest, most common that you see for backup cameras and side mount cameras. Offer, like I said, 3-year warranty. It is IP68 rated, and comes with your standard Ibeam 4-pin connector that is weather jacketed.
All right, moving along to the next new product. It's called the TE-ASTCAM. You know that cool mount that works on all these Jeeps, but all these other guys that have rear tires on the back of their vehicle that don't have a solution? Well, guess what? Ibeam's figured it out and show you guys some love. This is going to fit a lot of the applications you've been looking for.
All right, guys. So this is our spare tire mounted camera system. This is a redesign. This is evolution from where we started. Our very first rear mounted camera systems were primarily for Jeeps, exclusively the Wranglers, with that very specific 5-on-5 bolt pattern. With this, we're doing GM and Ford 6-lug. You've got your Japanese traditional 6 and 8 lugs in here for like your Isuzus and the Axions, the Fords, vans, whatnot like that. Anything that came with a factory spare tire, this can now mount to. You can mount it up. It's got 180 degrees of movement here. It can also be oriented downwards, and there is a slide to account for larger hubs and bigger rims in this bracket too. So it's truly an evolution of the original Jeep spare tire mount that we had. Comes with everything that you need. You're going to have some M14 and M16 speed nuts here that's going to hold this on while you're putting your spare tire back on. Comes with a camera. This is just our off-the-shelf flush mount camera. So we know these applications can get pretty beat up, if you will. It's really heavy duty. These are IP67 rated. They have a 110-degree field of view. But if anything was to happen, it does come with its own warranty, 3 years for this piece. And we'll also have these available for you after the warranty should something happen to it. So we were thinking about serviceability in the future as well. Comes with enough lead to get in most tailgates with just a very small hole that you have to put through or use it in existing grommet depending on the vehicle.
Now, our next item, I feel, represents an evolution of technology. While the previous item was kind of new and for the category, really, the next item is a dash cam. Now, I know what you're thinking, dash cams. Everybody has dash cams. But hold on. Ibeam's done a couple things to their new evolution of their dash cam in the TE DVR30 that I think you're going to find quite interesting.
All right. So this is the upgrade, if you will, the next step for our line of DVR. So the DVR 15 has now become the DVR 30. It has a 3-inch screen. But here's the really important parts, right? We are trying to get with the standardization in the industry because it seems like dash cams run whatever format that they feel like. So for ours, we're using a very common Apple and Microsoft friendly .mov format. Most computers come with that codec in them these days. On top of that, it allows you to capture GPS data. It has a G-Shock sensor for any event to lock that file. It is SD card based, so it's very common. You can get them anywhere should you need to take out your card for evidence or anything to that effect. And it's a good little product to keep on the shelves because SD cards are inexpensive, convenient for your customer to buy two when they're getting their DVR put in. Inside of that, we have a very specific silicon-based suction mount, so it's going to stay on there. It's semi-permanent installation. Another thing that comes with it is a very long power cord here. It's going to allow you to go from the premium viewing angle of the top of the windshield all the way to that power outlet, hopefully in the dashboard of the vehicle.
All right, Aaron, I got two questions for you. Number one, for our shops and installers, can this kit be mounted or installed hardwire? Is there a hardwire option? And number two, you mentioned there's a shock sensor. Just want a clarification on how that works when you're away from the vehicle.
So we absolutely do offer a hardware kit, or I'm sorry, a hardwire kit that you can keep in your shop that's going to more permanently mount that in there for the customer. The part number for that is TE-HW Kit 12. So it's a 12-foot hardwire extension that includes both styles of USB. So if it's micro or mini, this will do both of them. So the other thing is the question about the G sensor. So this one actually contains a battery. The other had a capacitor in it that would slowly drain down. This one has a battery in it. And depending on how much activity it receives, there's 3 different settings for your G sensor. The battery can last a maximum of 24 hours. So if somebody hits your car, if it's from the front, it's going to see it. It's going to see everything that plays out depending on the sensitivity that you set your G sensor to.
Moving on to the next product is one that I've seen personally really start to become popular across all genres, and that is a live stream rear view mirror. There are some vehicles that are actually coming stock with features like this, but Ibeam's come up with their own evolved solution in this category. It's called the TE-LVM9. What can you tell us about its improvements, Aaron?
All right. So yeah, absolutely, man. We brought some OEM technology to the aftermarket world. We started with a 2-channel DVR. So as you can see, there is a camera that records everything going on in the front. You're going to take this over 30 feet of harnessing to the rear of the vehicle, and you can attach that to the rear glass if you would like. There's 2 different mounting options here. But yes, it has 2 channels, records front and rear. We opted not to do touchscreen because of fingerprints, but everything is still touch sensitive right here on the lower bar of the mirror. Comes with all your different adapters for your Japanese and European vehicles. Just some specs on the camera here. IP67 for the external camera, and you're going to have a full 1080p recording here at 30 frames per second. So that's going to be able to help better identify both people in the vehicle behind you, because they're all HD cameras, but identify license plates, what type of vehicle it is, the writing on the back of it, just at that higher resolution and high def resolution, if you will. It allows your customer to see more. It uses a standard SD card at the top. And the video output is Apple and Microsoft friendly, or PC friendly. It uses .mov format, which as of Windows 11 is native on that system. I believe Apple as well.
What I see here, Aaron, is a real complete system. You mentioned it's a 2-channel. Now you're adding the added benefit of the live stream mirror. What about mounting options? What do installers have as far as flexibility on getting this thing in the vehicle?
So what we try to do is maximize the amount of vehicles we can hook this up to. Currently, right now, this is set up for a very standard windshield mount, right? It looks kind of like an A that slots up in here. And that's very common for your 90s, aughts vehicles, right? Chrysler, in their wisdom, went with their own adapter for a little while. We've tried to give you as many as we can without sacrificing the aesthetic of what a rear view mirror is expected to look like by your customer. So like I said, we got Chrysler here. You got a Volkswagen mount, and we also give you a Japanese mount. This is going to cover your Hondas, Subarus, Acuras, Suzukis, Nissan, anything that's based out of Japan. This adapter most likely will fit.
You know, when you're thinking about ADAS, it's not just about the consumer side of things. There's also a great amount of potential business when it comes to the commercial customers that you may have. And when it comes to that, obviously cameras and monitors are a big deal. And it looks like Ibeam's come up with a refreshed version of their commercial camera.
So here's the great thing about standardization and technology. We're not fighting the PAL versus NTSC format anymore, because we have a new one. It's AHD. This is kind of the newest tech on the market. It gives you a very high def image, 1080 or 720. It allows you to mount these things in box trucks, RVs, motor coaches, anything to that effect that you need a camera. And what makes our little camera here, this is a CCM, so AHD camera, CCM, camera plus mic. So with the right monitor, you're going to be able to not only see what's going on behind you, but you can hear and interact with a spotter or somebody like that who's trying to help you park your mobile home or anything to that effect. It's a camera with a mic. It's high def. It's going to see everything in 1080. It puts out everything in 1080 to your screen here. Again, we're standardizing, so everything is SD card based. This has a universal U mount, so you can put it on any flat surface that you want, or you can make your own adapter for the rear as well. It's got a hood that's going to keep the sun from coming straight down on it, because a lot of those coaches and bigger trucks, box trucks, have huge windshields on them. They let tons of sun in, and sometimes it can wash that out. So we're kind of thinking ahead. We put a hood on it so it can give a little bit of shade to that monitor so your customer can still see clearly whatever they're looking at.
One small question about this system, Aaron. What options are there as far as the different triggers that I could program should I want to do that?
So with this one, this monitor specifically, we include 2 analog triggers, one for each channel. So if you want to activate that via turn signal or reverse signal, high beam, anything like that, any analog trigger will tag that to bring the image large for that specific camera.
All right, our next item is a very simple, well, it looks simple anyhow, backup camera for a license plate. It's called the TE-BPCIR, and it's much improved from the previous generation, mostly because of the way it manages power. This new model is going to give you a wider range of options. Now, I'm going to let Aaron describe exactly what that means.
So yeah, the BPCIR, this is a behind plate camera. It's been your try and true, your steady Eddie for about a decade now. But what we wanted to do is bring it into the modern era. So the optics and the IP rating is the same. What has changed is the power supply for this piece. Previously, cameras weren't designed to run when the vehicle was on. So when it's moving, they would only run during a backup sequence. So with the upgraded power supply, you can run from 6 to 16 volts, and it can run the entire time that the vehicle is on without having to worry about heat dissipation or ending the life of the camera soon, because you're running it more often than a backup sequence. So with this, it's going to cover all of your behind plate cameras, not just the infrared versions, but the non-infrared version. And it's going to give you that quality and assurance that your customers want, because if they're going for that aftermarket radio, a lot of them are now offering the option to look at the backup camera without triggering a reverse. So we wanted to address that call, and we did, and it was by upgrading the power supply on an existing SKU. That is a great little piece for your shop.
Well, Aaron, I think we've done a great job showcasing a couple of the key products being launched at SEMA in the Ibeam booth, of course. What last message do you have for dealers tuning in, interested to find out more about Ibeam in the ADAS category?
So the message would be, this is just a cherry-picked 5, right? These are my favorites. They may not be your favorites. What I do encourage everybody to do is go to metroonline.com, check out our 2023 SEMA New Product Guide. You could also check out more information on ibeamusa.com.
I want to take this opportunity to thank my guest today, AARON NEWMAN from Metro, and for today, wearing the hat for Ibeam. And as you can see, this is obviously an exciting time. Metro and Ibeam have been hard at work coming up with new products, and more importantly, evolving products to become more spec'd out for today's market. You've seen the changes in the cameras, the compatibility, the voltage, the power supplies. You look at the dash cam systems and the way that works. And all this is to say that this is a category that Ibeam takes very seriously, because their resources are obviously laser focused on making sure these products not only meet and exceed your customers' needs, but are relevant and up to date with the needs and technology of today. That's it for this CMA Connected, brought to you by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Until next time, we connect.
There's never been a better time to have SiriusXM with over 150 channels in your vehicle. Your Platinum Plan offer includes more than ever before to enjoy online, on your phone, or at home. Create your own ad-free personalized stations powered by Pandora. Hear ad-free extra channels and enjoy favorite shows with SiriusXM Video on Demand. What you love is on now.